From the Busby Babes to the class of '92 and now Alejandro Garnacho. Yes, Manchester United have always incorporated and included youth throughout our club's history. But with Alejandro Garnacho's most recent success in our youth player's successful breakthrough, under Erik ten Hag's first season as manager, by the way, I'm looking forward to seeing how Alejandro Garnacho develops throughout his career at Manchester United, and especially this next upcoming season. But, as Erik ten Hag has mentioned many times, that youth players will only be given a chance if they are good enough to be in the first team. Now, this is what I like to see from Erik ten Hag, because Erik ten Hag is not going to give youth players a chance unless they deserve it. So, here are 5 players for me who I think you could see in a Manchester United senior team for next season. Let's get right into the video, but please make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Anyway, let's get right into the video. Number 1 is Isak Hansen Aaron, who's a Norwegian midfielder who's also very versatile, very small for his height. I mean, he's only about 5'6", 5'7" at the moment, and he is only 18 years old, but he has a lot of potential. And with Isak, he is one of them players that reminds you of a Bernardo Silva. And we have this same comparison with the likes of Palestri as well, another player who's a promising player for Manchester United. But with Isak Hansen Aaron, I personally feel like that he's a player who's only 18 years old, who's definitely above the age that he actually is. So for me, I personally feel like Isak Hansen Aaron is a player that's definitely to watch for the future. I mean, he's got 22 appearances for Man United this season in the youth team, and he's got 3 goals and 1 assist, and he's averaging about 73% of minutes per 90, which is quite good. And he mainly plays in the central midfield position, but can also play a bit more attacking, passing them through balls to the wingers and the forward and trying to create a lot of chances. Now, he has also been called up to the national team of the under-18s Norwegian team, and he seems to be doing well. Throughout his entire youth team for the Norway international team, he has got a total of 30 appearances, scoring a total of 9 goals in all them games. So he does show a lot of promise. And as we know, United bought him from Tromsø, I think they're called, in the Norwegian team in Norway, and he's been a member of the United youth team ever since. And I personally feel like that he's getting better and better. He stood out last pre-season, in my opinion, when he played at Old Trafford. So for me, I definitely look forward to seeing how Isak Hansen Aaron plays and what his future holds for Manchester United. Number 2 is Dan Gore. Now, Dan Gore has recently just won Young Player of the Season for Manchester United. Now, obviously for the youth team. But Dan Gore, again, kind of like Isak Hansen Aaron, Daniel Gore is also an attacking midfielder. But Daniel Gore stands out a bit more to me because, 1, obviously he's won the Youth Player of the Season. And 2, he shows a lot of traits that players like Bruno Fernandes shows, and he kind of showed that against Arsenal in the under-21s game. Now, Daniel Gore only being 18 years old and playing for the under-21s, that's a bit of an achievement in my eyes, and I personally feel like Daniel Gore is one of them players that could also be up there with Alejandro Garnacho. Now, as we've seen, Alejandro Garnacho has developed drastically and improved so much over this season, and he's not even been able to play every single game. And let's not forget, with Alejandro Garnacho, he had that injury that he earned during the Southampton game, and he was out for 2 to 3 months. So with Alejandro Garnacho, I personally feel like that his development is still on the rise as well. Obviously, Garnacho's had his breakthrough season, and Erik ten Hag will probably focus a lot more on him than these other upcoming youth players. But these youth players, for me, deserve as much as a chance as Alejandro Garnacho has this season. But anyway, with Daniel Gore, obviously he's an attacking midfielder. He plays very well, and I personally feel like that he's definitely one for the future. Now, he has only earned 3 appearances and got 2 goals, is what it's saying on the transfer market here. But as we know, that's not the case, so that hasn't been updated yet. But we did sign him from the Burnley youth, and he has been a member from the in 2018. And then ever since then, he's been a member of the United youth since then. But with Daniel Gore, definitely one to watch out for, in my opinion. Now, this player has already got his debut for Manchester United, and he's kind of a fan favourite for upcoming youth players, and that is Kobbie Mainoo. Now, Kobbie Mainoo, again, another midfielder. Now, you can kind of see where this link is, that with all these midfielders, United are very weak in the midfield. So this is why I'm labelling all these players, because of how weak United's midfield is. We might actually be able to see some of these players next season, and Kobe Mainoo is definitely another player that fits that profile. Now, Kobe Mainoo is a bit more of a defensive player compared to Isaac and Daniel. But Kobe can play every single position in that midfield. He can play box to box, he can play the defensive role, and he can also drive forward with the ball. And obviously, being 18 years old, having all that versatility and having to be using it as a squad player almost, and you can play in multiple positions at that age, is a very good trait to have at such a young age, in my opinion. So Kobe Mainoo is definitely one for the future, and Manchester Evening News even label him as a future wonder kid. So with Kobe Mainoo, obviously he was born in April 2005, which makes him obviously 18 years old, but only recently. Kobe Mainoo is definitely one to watch out for, in my opinion, and he's around about 6 foot. So Kobe Mainoo for me is definitely another player to watch out for. Now, Marc Giroud, that's number 4. Now, Marc Giroud is a player that I kind of wanted to mention because he's 19 years old, and I think that with Ethan Laird looking like he's not going to get a chance at Manchester United, Marc Giroud seems to be a player with a lot of leadership for such a young age, and he can play multiple positions as well. He mainly plays as a right back, but he can also play as that holding midfielder role. So maybe Marc Giroud, again, like the midfield, like the right back. We don't know what's going to happen with Dalot or Wan-Bissaka yet. So maybe Marc Giroud could get a one-off game if we do face someone in the Carabao Cup or something. So Marc Giroud for me is definitely a player that we should watch out for. And again, like I've said, his leadership skills are very high for his age. And he does seem to gain a lot of respect amongst his fellow teammates. Now, Marc Giroud was obviously born in April 2004, which makes him 19, and he's currently sitting at 5'10". Obviously, he's got to develop yet. He can still. This goes for every single player. All these players have still not reached full maturity, and when it comes to their growth as players and physically, so these players are going to consistently keep growing as players, and they're only going to get better and better and better, in my opinion. And with a manager like Erik ten Hag, I personally feel like all these players will definitely go on to have a very successful careers if they can break through the team, because once they get their nose into the team, I personally feel like that with these players, they will stay because they'll be so hungry to play for Manchester United. I think they can actually do it. And the last one is Shea Lacey. Now, funny enough, Shea Lacey has been, I'm trying to think, not examined, compared to Lionel Messi. Now, he's a right winger with a left foot, so that's where it is. But at 16 years old, Shea Lacey looks like a proper amazing young player. And he was born in 2007. That makes me feel really old. And with Shea Lacey, I just think that with the way he plays football, he's currently got 12 appearances and got 3 goals from him, from being a right winger and left-footed and playing for the under-18s. And at 16 years old, that's a massive achievement in my eyes. So maybe you could see him get his first senior debut for Manchester United next season. But like I've said, with all these players, they all show huge potential, and they also all have time to develop on their football and develop physically and mentally, because these players, for me, have a special bunch that you can pick out. As this is just my opinion, you might have some other players, so let me know who they are down below in the comments. But with these players, I personally feel like all of them could definitely make it through to United's team next season. Obviously, as we know, Erik ten Hag has developed youth in the past. You think back to his Ajax days with Frankie de Jong, Donny van der Beek, Matthijs de Ligt, and now with Alejandro Garnacho in most recent times. I personally feel like that Erik ten Hag knows exactly what he's doing, and the players will actually catch his attention when needs be. And I personally feel like that if you just ask me right now, out of all these players, who do I think would get their biggest chance? I would say it would be Daniel Gore, because Daniel Gore obviously won the Youth Player of the Season in our most recent season for Manchester United. He seems to be showing a lot of promise, and for me, he's definitely one to look out for, especially in that midfield, because for me, Bruno Fernandes is absolutely brilliant, but Eriksen for me isn't good enough, and Daniel Gore is one of them players who is also one of our own, He is, obviously we did get him from Burnley in the youth team, but he is a Manchester United fan. And for me, Daniel Gore is definitely the one to watch out for out of these bunch of 5. But anyway, let me know what you thought of this type of video. I've not done this video on the youth before, so let me know what you think of it. Make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below on any players that I've missed out on, or any players you think or want to see in Manchester United's senior team under Erik ten Hag next season. Well, anyway, thank you for watching and have a good day.